Hey everybody, welcome back to SCG Reviews. I'm Will Jones, and it's the 4th of July today, so in honor of the holiday, we're going to be celebrating America's favorite pastime with this review of Bottom of the Ninth. Bottom of the Ninth, as the title suggests, takes place in the final moments of a mythical championship baseball game. One player is the pitcher, the other player is the batter, and everything lies on this last half of an inning. If the pitcher, and by extension the entire fielding team, gets 3 outs, then that player wins. However, if the batting player scores only 1 run, they win the game. Each round of play represents exactly 1 pitch, complete with the stare down between pitcher and batter, the pitch, the swing, and the result of whether or not contact is made and whether or not the batter gets on base. As the game wears on and various batters either get on base or are struck out, the batting player will work through a lineup of individual batter cards, each with their own special abilities. So Bottom of the Ninth is designed around 2 real points of cusp on any given pitch. One of them is a fairly standard opposing dice roll mechanic, where the batter rolls for his swing, the pitcher rolls for his pitch, whoever has a better result wins in that case. There is a die that's rolled to see where the ball actually ends up around the plate, whether it's a ball, if it's in the strike zone, etc., which does vary sort of what you want to roll, but at the heart of it, the opposing dice roll mechanic doesn't change. The other point of cusp is part of what they call the stare down, the first part of every gaming round. And this is actually a direct mind versus mind mechanic, where the batter is trying to guess where the pitcher is going to throw the ball, high and inside, low and away, etc. The pitcher, for his part, is trying to fool the batter and throw something the batter doesn't expect. This is actually a really well done mechanic. Each player has 2 counters that they use to signify this. They've got the high and low counter and then the away and inside counter. And different results come up depending on how much information the batter is able to predict correctly. There are a lot of individual types of effects there, but it all boils down to altering the results of the dice rolls that we talked about a minute ago. There is actually a third decision-making point where if the batter actually makes contact with the ball, you have to see if he makes it to first base safely. This is actually kind of decided in a funny way, where if the batter gets a hit, then both players immediately start rolling dice as fast as they can, each trying to get a 5 or a 6 before the other one and call the runner either safe or out. And that actually leads me into what is probably the most significant praise for this game that anyone can give, and that is, it really does mirror the experience of baseball. Playing a game of Bottom of the Ninth feels a lot like playing or watching a game of baseball. You've got all these things where you're staring down the other player, trying to figure out what they're going to throw, much like a batter and a pitcher would. And then the pitching player rolls their die, so you know what's coming. And then a second later, the batter rolls his die for the swing. And then in the event that there's actually a hit, all of a sudden the stadium just breaks into chaos and people are rolling as fast as they can. Like, it has that same rhythm to it. Every turn of this game is pretty much like every other turn of this game. There are a couple little variances like, oh, the pitcher's arm is a little fatigued here, or, oh, this one batter has a slightly different special ability than the last one. But more or less, once you've played 2 or 3 turns of this, you've kind of played every turn you're ever going to play of it. There are a few genuine points of decision and some really good player interaction with the components. But most of the decision-making is on a tactical level, just within the turn itself. There's no real strategic arc to anything. You never get to construct an idea of what happens with batter number 1 changes what I might want to do with batter number 4. And that is a significant problem in this. You're not so much playing one cohesive game as you are playing several identical mini games back to back. As a game designer, I love Bottom of the Ninth because it's a really great example of how you can construct a simulation in one medium that is spiritually faithful to the original in a completely different medium. It's this really interesting thought experiment, like, can I make a card game that's about baseball that feels like playing baseball? And you know what? Well done. But as a game player, I derived very little enjoyment from this. I wish that the sort of mind versus mind mechanic they'd taken further and relied less on dice rolling, because at the end of the day, this is a game about who's rolling the dice better, which I think is really ironic from a game company called Dice Hate Me Games. I will say this though, the game looks very cute. All the components and the art are very well made, and this is just the absolute cutest little game board I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's adorable. I think this game is going to sit better with hardcore baseball fans who are just discovering board gaming than any actual board game fan. So that's what we think of Bottom of the Ninth. Really hope you enjoyed the review, and happy birthday, America. Go ahead and click below to like and subscribe to us for more great content from Stone Circle Games. And until then, have fun around the table.